If you've ever walked through a medieval town, whether stone-paved or reconstructed, you'll notice something that shouldn't logically exist. Timber-framed houses from the Middle Ages still stand straight, beams intact, joints tight, and wood that should have decayed centuries ago still holding weight. Rot is relentless. It destroys barns, sheds, posts and beams today within decades, even with modern treatments. Yet medieval carpenters protected wood so well that entire structures survived wars, storms, and hundreds of rainy seasons. The remarkable part is that their method didn't require copper preservatives, pressure vessels, or toxic chemicals. It relied on a simple technique that modern builders rarely talk about, even though it can still extend the life of outdoor wood by several decades. This guide takes you directly into that medieval workshop and then brings the technique right back to your backyard or homestead, where you can use it for sheds, posts, raised beds, or even long-term survival structures. Medieval builders controlled rot by mastering saturation and sealing instead of fighting nature. The critical insight medieval carpenters understood was that rot thrives in wood that holds moisture inconsistently. If a beam absorbs water from soil or air but can't release it quickly enough, fungi begin feeding. Medieval craftsmen realized this and used a combination of controlled saturation and deep sealing to prevent the cycle of damp and dry that destroys wood fibers. The main technique involved soaking timbers in oil, resin or lime water long before construction began. Records from England, France and Scandinavia show that timber, especially oak, was submerged in pits, troughs or barrels filled with lime water or tannin-rich liquids. Instead of letting wood dry out immediately after felling, they encouraged the pores to fill with protective minerals that hardened the fibers and made them resistant to moisture movement. You can apply this today with a technique often called mineral soaking. For example, if you're preparing posts for a fence or a shed, submerging the bottom portion in a lime water solution for several days to a few weeks fills the wood pores with calcium compounds that resist rot and insects. This is both inexpensive and accessible. So, a homesteader can prepare lime water by mixing hydrated lime with clean water until, well, the solution turns milky. Submerging the wood slowly allows the dissolved minerals to settle deep into the grain, you know. They use lime not only as a preservative, but also as a moisture regulator and insect deterrent. Lime was, without a doubt, central to medieval building. It was used in plasters, mortars and timber preservation. Lime water and lime wash formed a breathable but rot-resistant coating, which protected wood by allowing moisture to escape but not penetrate deeply. Unlike modern paints that, trap moisture inside the wood, lime-treated fibers remained open enough to dry quickly. A practical application today is, using lime wash on exterior beams, sheds, barns, or structural timbers. Lime wash, which requires nothing more than lime putty mixed with water, penetrates deeply into wood and creates a mineral shell. For someone building a chicken coop or storage shed, brushing on 2 or 3 coats of lime wash creates a barrier that resists mold, insects and UV degradation. The more coats you add over the years, the harder the protective shell becomes. Some medieval timbers coated repeatedly with lime wash developed a stone-like outer crust that is still visible centuries later. Medieval carpenters relied heavily on tannins, using oak and chestnut in ways that maximized their natural defenses. Another part of the rot-proofing system involved understanding the natural chemistry of wood. Medieval builders preferred high-tannin woods such as oak and chestnut, because tannins are natural preservatives. When exposed to lime, water and oxygen, tannins harden into complex compounds that resist decay. You know, many beams in medieval structures were intentionally left exposed so that rain and air could interact with tannins and lime on the surface, slowly creating a harder, darker and tougher layer over time. For a modern builder or homesteader, selecting high tannin wood for outdoor structures immediately improves lifespan. But even if you don't have oak or chestnut, you can still apply tannin externally. Boiled bark mixtures, known historically as wood liquors, were brushed onto beams as an extra preservative. Today, a simple version is steeping oak bark or black tea in hot water until it turns almost ink dark, then brushing it on raw wood before lime washing. The tannins will bite into the wood fibres and react with the lime to form the same long-lasting protective layer medieval builders depended on. Medieval rot-proofing worked because they layered methods rather than relying on a single treatment. The power of medieval preservation didn't come from just one trick, but from how they, combined them all together. Wood was cut at the right season, soaked in mineral solutions, treated with tannins, sealed with lime, and kept elevated off the ground whenever possible. Even the placement of beams was totally deliberate. Timber frames were built on stone foundations, which allowed airflow beneath the floor joists and, prevented ground moisture from seeping upward. This is actually why so many medieval houses have lasted for centuries, even in those really damp climates. If you're building a structure today, you can actually take a page directly out of the medieval playbook. Start by soaking posts in lime water for several days, then let them dry slowly. If you have it, brush on a tannin solution. Next, apply 2 coats of lime wash. Set the posts or beams on stone or concrete pads, not directly in the soil. This combination alone can honestly extend the life of outdoor wooden structures dramatically, especially in areas with heavy rainfall or humidity. The durability of medieval wood really proves that low-tech preservation still outperforms a lot of modern shortcuts. When archaeologists uncover beams from the 1200s that are still structurally sound, the evidence speaks pretty clearly. Medieval rot-proofing wasn't primitive. It was deliberate engineering, rooted in chemistry, observation, and craftsmanship. It gave wood something modern treatments often fail to achieve: stability. Wood didn't swell and shrink as violently, didn't stay damp long enough to grow fungi, and didn't become appetizing to insects. If you're a builder, a survivalist, or someone restoring old traditions in your homestead, using these methods bridges the gap between historic skill and modern resilience. And most importantly, it shows that you don't need expensive chemicals or industrial treatment plants to make wood last. You only need the patience and understanding medieval craftsmen practiced every single day. If this guide deepened your respect for historical preservation and gave you techniques you can use right away, make sure to subscribe to Thermal Vault and share this video with others who appreciate history grounded in real-world application.